Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and hi to everyone. Today is what's the date today? 28th of July, 2024. Yeah, it's been a very long gap. I think probably 2 or 3 weeks. I haven't did my last video, so it's not over. I don't have a regular kind of uh, video blogs or whatever. I'm just doing this for my self interest, and with my self interest, I like to share. If those of you who subscribe, well, thank you very much. Those of you who view and interested, thank you very much also. And yeah, today um I'm gonna actually talk only two notes I got today. One note is I've sent out for grading, and one note is a brand new note from a unique country in the north of my neighboring country, my which I normally particularly don't get interested or attention to it, but I do get it regularly from family, friends, just because it's a neighboring country. So, tend to see the chances in my life, I will encounter those that kind of note would be easy. So I will probably describe it later. But on a little history sidetrack for today's current event, yes, officially the Olympic Games for 2024 has started. Compared to other, so-called openings, I understand it's the first time an opening ceremony done without a stadium. To keep the cost down, for the French would say, let's not build a stadium to cut costs. Use what existings we have. So using the Parisian cityscape or the urban scape would be the best concept. And to me, there are things that doesn't work, and there are things that works spectacularly, I would say. One of the biggest hit that I liked, minus out all the celebrities and so forth, what does this Paris can offer, without a stadium kind of presentation, is the light show. The most spectacular thing that I would believe in myself, even if I was in the video I was watching from telecast live. It was really spectacular. Imagine, you are standing there in front of the Eiffel Tower, where the lights are dancing across the skies, across the Paris, alongside with the music. I think it's very beautiful. Among all the light shows of the year, but I think this is one of the best. The second best, I would say, Vivid Sydney. In my life, I've been watching show lights in by the buildings. I think Sydney was number one in my list. Now I think it became number two, just because the Eiffel Tower light show have remarkably catch my heart and soul. One of the things that I don't like, well, accounting for a bad weather, that is one thing that is, act of God. We can't prevent the weather, we can't control the weather. Having a wet weather in a very open, uh, uh, enclosed area, it will create a lot of horrible scenes or choreographic nightmare. And it proven that a lot of those events on the on the bridge where the fashion show is moving, I think that is a disadvantage there. The other one that I don't like is the traditional march of the athletes, the presentation of the athletes. Now I don't know about you guys, probably your country may show it, especially Israel live telecast. They need to show the athletes from Israel. Of course, Israel is very controversial at the moment because Russia having declared war on Ukraine. They were banned from the games, but Israel was not. A lot of people are complaining that. That is for me not to judge or to put a position. That is for them as a committee of the Olympic Games. They must make a decision on that. It falls on to them. So I don't want to criticize that he say or she say or who's right and who's wrong at this position. But I believe that a game such as this, like an Olympic, in my personal view, should allow all countries participating in it. It is a paramount. The reason is, to me, games bring people closer. Games bring peace. Other than the tool of diplomacy, I think the game does bring peace and harmony, good competition, healthy competition. Through sports, we can have peace. I think that is one of the fundamental, one of the Frenchmen, the founding father of the Olympiad Games. So again, he's French. I don't know his name at this point of time. Who proposed the first modern Olympiad Games? I believe he wants to have this game so that we can, bring the humanity together without race, without religion, without sexism, without feminisms. Everyone is equal as human beings. No one is right, no one is wrong. Although we have the baggages at the back of our feet or our head, whatever you want to say, or our backs, like war, genocide, but it is a point where we can rebuild our sense of humanity through the Olympiad game. And that's what I believe what is truly meant for as an Olympiad, as a Olympic Games is all about. It's not about prestige of giving a country. It is not a place to make money like most of the sponsorships. They're trying to make money out of it. It's just a sense of togetherness. That's what it's all about of Olympic Games. So I don't really want to judge whether the country should be or should not be allowed to play the game. For myself, I believe everyone should have the opportunity to play the game to create a better mankind. So recently, but talking about the game, I think 2024 game is very slow. There's no enthusiasm, and then after the ceremony or the opening ceremonies, one of my bad critics I really don't like about the opening ceremony is how the possession of the athletes, it's mind-boggling. Now in my country, wink wink, is Malaysia, I miss out the teams that I have missing in the eye. I did not see Israel possession in the River Song. I did not see Italians possessing the athletes in the River Song. A lot of the eyes are missing. Wink wink there. Being a Malaysian, maybe is a propaganda machine or a choreographic to not show Israel, because probably on the same boat there is Israeli, Italian, and probably some of the I countries that I miss out in my mind. But I do know I wanted to see Italians rather than Israel, but I miss out that. So I thought it was mind-boggling. Why is the I is missing? They were either way. Probably is because when they were singing the national anthem of France, Le Marche, and that's where the Israeli possession and the I countries are moving towards the center stage. After the finish of the national anthem, then the I has already passed and moving on from the I to J. I find it a very sinister in choreography. Probably just only for my country's a broadcast. Probably in if you look at broadcast, they might see Israeli or American broadcasts makes might able to see Israeli possession, but rather is the one that's singing the national anthem of the French national anthem, while the Israeli and the Italian possessions coming in. I don't know. Probably is because based on how the chronology that I've been watching in my country's broadcasts live, but in other sense that you win, you lose, you got not to see. So it doesn't mind, it doesn't bother me, but it's just that some of the things that I pick up from watching this kind of openings and probably later closings. Yeah. What else is the news? Okay, another news is just Americans election. What a turn of event last week, few days back. Republican has already concluded its Republican National Convention, where the RNC has concluded. They have already selected former President Donald Trump to be the next to be their Republican candidate, and also officially picking J.D. Vance, if I pronounce his initial correctly, J.D. Vance, if I'm not mistaken, his vice president. After that, of course, I see the polls for him just triumphantly rising up very high, and suddenly it dropped significantly to par currently with the Democrats. Now, the Democrats have shocking news last Sunday, several days ago, that the current president Joe Biden, will not contest for the next in the upcoming general election. So he will be making himself as the first one-term president, and giving support to any candidates later on coming in. Most of it is the default is Kamala Harris, his vice president. I think it's a good choice that this the vice president picking up, because before she was announcing her campaign, she was unknown to me. To be honest, to me she was very unknown, and now people started to energize to know about her, to talk about her, and looking at in 24 hours she got the biggest raise of funds. To me, I think the biggest raise of these funds is probably just a tip of the iceberg. It might raise very high, but it was eventually it will plateau. This roaring sensation of the period. Most of it probably is from the Gen Zs, first time voters, people who already reached the age of 21, who wish to be this is their first time participating in election, to cast their vote for the first time, have energized quite grandly, I would say, for Kamala Harris, for the Democrats. Before that, they were thinking, man, another two old men or two old farts competing each other, same people, same thing. It doesn't energize them. The thing is, they want to participate, but there's no energy. It's nothing new, nothing brand new, nothing sensational. But now they have one, and I hope it will rise very stupendously for the Democrats. If you ask me, Donald Trump is a loose cannon. Is a loose cannon. If he's not strong enough by himself, the people around him will eat him. I would say Project 2025 is the behind the power. It's like the Empress Dowager controlling the emperor. The mother is the ones who wield the power over the son, where the son is the image of the power. I would think that the coming election after Donald Trump win, it will be in that scenario. Donald Trump doesn't have ideas. The ideas comes from the people around him. So all he needs to do is get the people around him into power in the first place. And that's the initiation of the Project 2025, the biggest front hit to remove anyone who doesn't agree to the bureaucrats. Not Donald Trump. I would think Donald Trump alone, no man alone can wield a great power to change. You need a team, you need a masses. And for me, that wielding the power is people who are behind the shadows. I will call them bureaucrats. Now this happens in Japan many times. The prime minister is just the front of the image of power. The true power comes behind him. The party factionists from different factions, the party's bureaucrats, or the independent bureaucrats who has apolitical agendas, non-affiliate to any political parties, wielding power behind and puppeting the leaders at the front. I would believe Project 2025, the real people who created the Project 25, this Project 2025, will be the one who governs the country, who makes America more conservative rather than great again. It will be more conservative, more Christendom ideology. So, would it be truly Donald Trump rule all on his own will? I don't think so. Man like him as a businessman relies on people around him, his advisors. And the advisor is the one who runs the business and the show. The man on top is a showmanship, presentation, making people feel confident. That is his job. And I think it will be that way if Donald Trump was elected. So I wouldn't blame Trump for all the things that would happen. I would just blame the voters, when those who are unable to see behind the veils. Now people have different views, this is one of my own views, even as in observing as non-American American citizen, I would say that way. But as an interest of overseas, how other countries look, personally myself look at America. So yeah, that is my vision. That's my view. Okay, back to the original thing. Today's, I didn't buy much of banknotes this today. I just bought one, which I have waited for almost a month for it, for its release. And one is I sent it for grading a month ago, and finally I got it back. So here we go. First off is the one that I sent for the grading. People's Republic of China, 1960, Yijiao, or almost we call it one. Yijiao is like 1 cent, 1 cent, in a sense. This is one of the very first editions in 1960. Yep. Let's see at the back. This is one of those rare types of notes, very difficult to get compared to the other Yijiao, like 1962 onwards. They're quite common and they have a lot of variations. But the 1960 is uniquely, profoundly unique, and one of it very rare. I got this one graded 25, very fine, very fair, I would say. I was thinking was, extremely fine, below extremely fine. But looking it back again, I think the folds, many of the multiple folds, it's not just one fold here, there are a few folds here. I think it's justified to get 25, but I think it'll be 25 plus condition. But yeah, it's one of the I'll put some light here. It's one of the very good ones, I would say. Now I think I'll make another video next one. What's the reason I have used TQG? Now, why the reason is I graded this because it's expensive. This is one of the rare notes that has quite a lot of money. Currently, I estimate the price around um, 8 to 1,000 ringgit, 800 to 1,000 ringgit. Ungraded probably around 700, 600 to 800 ringgit, roughly there, around there. Depends on the market fluctuation of the price. But a lot of it in the eBay is now selling a grade much better than mine. Obviously, they're selling at at a grade of 56, 56, 65, 66, 67. Those very generally uncirculated degree. So mine is, well, pretty much at the low band. Those are actually selling around 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit if it's a really uncirculated condition, or about uncirculated condition, about 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit. So relative to mine, dropping down the price leniently, just staying linear, 1,000 is should be the ballpark for this grade at 25. But anyway, it is rewarding. I feel happy. I'm satisfied. Now, why do I grade this? Is one thing is because it's rare and is high value. So it comes to the question: is should I grade it or not? Is whether it's justifiable to grade it. Since the price of this note is very high compared to the investment I'm going to put for grading, I think about it and say, yeah, should be graded. Now, there are varieties of grading companies I can choose. I can choose two of my local ones and one of it in the overseas. The overseas one is, of course, definitely is PMG. PCGS at the moment in Malaysia is difficult if you wish to send it out for PCGS to grade it. Most of the PCGS grading in Malaysia we send out is coins rather than banknotes. Now, talking about that situation, PCGS, there are new companies here representing in Malaysia that will collect the banknotes from us, having a middleman to sort out all the paperwork and send it out, and then bring it back to Malaysia. You can do PCGS in Malaysia, but you have to do it on your own. You have to pay your own risk. You have to put and assemble all the banknotes properly in the envelopes and so forth to be sent out to be shipped out to America at your own cost, at your own time. It's hectic. What does a middleman does is some of the companies like PMGs, we have representative here, they are the middleman, so they cut out all the hassles. All you need to do is bring your banknote that you want to grade. They'll fill out the forms. You need to sign and declare that you are going to send this out, blah blah blah, and then off they go. 3 months later, 4 months later, when they can come back, they'll call you, they email you or WhatsApp you or they message you, say you are able to come and collect your banknotes, and you pay them on that time, and then you got your notes hassle free. Just give it to them, they'll settle everything. It's like a one-stop station, one-stop center, or all in all, I would say. So the question arises: why did I send to TQG? Now in Malaysia, we have two local industry of graders. TQG is one. The other one is MDC, Money Demand Collection. Now, why did I not use PMG for such a note? The reason is because cost-wise. To me, for this note, I believe from like 800 to and the condition, or knowing the condition is that bad, I decided not to send to PMG. It would be a waste of time. It would be a waste of money. So I just sent it to TQG. At least I knew the fact that most of the graders from TQG were former employees or employers from PMG. They worked there and then they resigned. They came back to Malaysia. They are Malaysians, and they started the company in 2019, calling it TQG. So their grading, actually, to be honest, based on statistic, they are much more stricter than PMG in grading sense. If the PMG graded 69, TQG will always grade it to 68. Majority of it, their grading is much more stricter. It's like for trading card game, you're comparing to, you know, PSM versus Beckett. A Beckett would be the most difficult one compared to PSA. Sorry, PSA. So whichever you want is based on your investment you want to do with it. For me, I sent it to TQG because majority I was thinking this note I would keep it for myself as a personal collection unless I had a better condition, graded in a better grade, then I would decide to sell it. Then I decided to sell it. Now, of course, PMG is more reputable. People know PMG, so people would, you know, literally would buy PMG more confident compared to TQG. Because TQG is only Malaysian, quite recognized in Malaysia and China, mainland China. It's quite recognized TQG as our source of alternative of PMG. We have another one is local Malaysia. What is MDC? That one is relatively not so well known, but it is relatively competitive to TQG. I will make another video talking about what makes my own personal view difference of the grading companies. The grading companies that I have and how do I make my decision there. So I'll make another video on that probably later or the next week. So I'm quite happy with and satisfied getting the grade. I was hoping for 30, but 25 is good enough for me. It's really good enough for my personal collection though. No remarks, which is good for such a note. I see it's pretty much, I'm very happy with it. There are two more notes that I actually sent off a grade. That one I use PMG. The reason is because that note is much older and much more difficult to find and much more valuable. And of course, its condition is one of those notes that I sent out among the two has a very prominent condition. I quite confidently can say it is more than about uncirculated. It should be hitting at about uncirculated to perfection, around that. So if you have good notes, rare and very good in condition, no, should not be below below about fine. Sorry, about uncirculated. Don't fall until 45. Then PMG will be the great choice for it, unless the note is very rare. Okay, that is one note here. Put it right here. The other note that I've waited and bought is the neighboring country of Thailand. Yep, Thailand, our northern neighbors. Look at the note. This is a brand new note, polymer. This is a polymer, 100 baht. It's a 100 baht. It's a commemorative banknote. Yes, all form perfectly vertical. Legal tender. Literally about 8 to 9 ringgit. Also for 100 baht. Now they're not using any Arabic numerical numbers. The serial numbers are basically Thai words or Thai language. So I do not know what is the number here or what letter it is. This is normally the letter. This is all numbers. I don't know what it represent in numbers because I didn't study Thai, obviously. So this is actually commemorative banknote for the king, the current king. It's his birthday this year. I think he's 70 or I think they say 75 years old. I think he's 70 or 75. I'm not too sure. I've forgotten what it is. But basically, I know that this note is commemorating him for his age of his birthday. Basically, this year's birthday. Very pronoun, very beautiful. The excellent choice is they use vertical rather than a landscape. So they use portraits to display exactly it should be, because it's trying to display a person on a picture. You know, if you have pictures or what geometrically, when proportionate we're talking about, a landscape is not a good idea. A portrait is the best. And what the Thai engraving companies there did, they print this, they design it in portrait. So I think this part here, the front, is very beautiful. The two signatures of the governor or some part here. This is the tale of the commemorative, or this note is about legal tender. The back is also a portrait, a full body portrait. Again, here's a Thai logo, the emblem of Thailand. And nothing here that's written here is his commemorative something. This is the commemorative his birthday for this year. So this is what I've been waiting for, and I pay for it relatively market price, 20 ringgit. I got it for 20 ringgit, which is very fair price. 20 ringgit for this one. It's a very fair price for me to wait for 1 month for it. So I wouldn't complain about it. It's it is polymer, as you can see. It is polymer, and I haven't seen whether it has UV as a security feature, but probably I can't see because I had lights on. Lights on, so I can't see much because I had a very bright light in the room, so I can't actually show it much. Woo! So yeah, 2 notes. I got it. So nothing new, nothing fresh. The only fresh thing is this one I got. So surprise, 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 surprise. I got this one now. Nothing much I could talk about. So I think right now I'll just end the video. The moment. It's a very short video, just only 2 things. Only one item that I got new as I bought. This one I've got last time in my video is introduced as a new item. I sent it for grading. 1 month later I got it back. So yeah, probably I'll make another video later or next week to talk about something, not reason of grading a banknote. So hopefully I'll see you later. So thank you very much, and do subscribe if you like, if you wish to get notified for the next video. If you have any questions or criticisms or what, I'm welcomely open a very constructive criticism, and would like to hear your comments. If you need me for something to expand on, maybe I try myself to initiate it. Most of the time I did this video for myself, for my own personal reference. As I said all the time, this is using for my reference on what I have bought, what I have in my collection, and I show it to the world just for fun. So thank you very much, and see you soon later. Bye.